So the first roundtable reaction of 2025, we have the producers roundtable by THR India. As always, if you haven't seen the original, I'll put the link description. Check it out there. This is a reaction, not a substitute. I'll be pausing and talking in the middle. And because it's so long, I'll maybe chop it up, only the crucial bits which I want to share and talk about. A producers roundtable is also interesting because you get different perspectives, the people who are actually running everything in the industry, the challenges they are facing, the problems that exist, how they are tackling it. So it's always very insightful. So looking forward to it. Without any delay, let's begin.
Welcome everyone to the Hollywood Reporter India's Producer Roundtable.
Thank you. It is a roundtable.
Thank you. The four of you have enabled some of the most stellar storytelling this year. So I'm thrilled that I'm sitting with all of you. You know, these producer conversations tend to kind of become all gloom and doom, right?
It does.
They do. But
Every year they talk about writers should be empowered and this and that, and nothing really changes. And all the issues and actors asking too much fees and this, and like every year that has become a trend.
I'm going to subvert that and start with happy news. So according to Omax Media, 2025 is likely to be the highest grossing year for Indian cinema ever.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, 13,000 crore is what we're looking at. The sort of previous highest was 12,226 crore in
Not-
2023.
That was, I think, the year of Jawan, Pathan, and Dunky, but Dunky didn't make that much. But yeah, that was a year with a lot of 1,000 crore films. And Pushpa also? No, Pushpa was only 4.
These are not higher footfalls, it's higher ticket prices,
Yep,
but
of
still,
course.
we're looking at 13,000 crore. The big films, not many have fired. Kantara and Chhawa, the only ones that crossed
Yeah.
the 500 crore.
I was wondering because apart from these two, they had not been a big, like Lokah made 300. But apart from these two, these three, they haven't been big films that has made a lot of money.
Mark, but the amazing news is that a lot of the mid-budget ones really went all the way. So there's Lokah, there's Dragon, there's of course Sayara.
Oh, of course,
And
yeah.
that's really encouraging because no ecosystem can survive on tentpoles. So I want to start by asking all of you, what is your sense of the current moment? Are you optimistic? Are you excited? Dulquer, can we start with you?
No, definitely optimistic. I think we're just. I guess my thinking might be influenced by what's happening in Malayalam.
Okay.
A lot of boundaries and borders have now blurred, which is a big
That's
deal
true.
for a market like ours. Historically, we were always very limited to Kerala and the GCC. It's a very small west of India sort of market. The fact that over COVID or once the OTTs opened up, everybody's watching our content, and now it's a great time for us. Even theatrically, there is at least a weekend or 2 weekends that we can now sort of show our films across the country, newer markets. We're seeing growth in UK and Europe, Australia, and the US has opened up in a bigger way. So it's very promising for us, for sure. And I hope the sort of ecosystem kind of opens up for all of our producers. It shouldn't. I have certain advantages because of the films that I keep doing, or the films that I keep producing or acting in. I'm not familiar with distributors and things like that, but I want to ideally open that up for.
And that is a interesting point because it's all about the connections, right? All the networking you do, like working in every other language and knowing people there, and that kind of has an influence that you can utilize to get your films distributed across, get better people to work with in different areas to have a better selling way of for your film, so more people can watch it. I think that may have helped Lokah, but I guess Lokah didn't make that much money from outside Kerala. I think its major chunk came from Kerala and global, so it was not outside Kerala that much. But hopefully in the future films.
Everybody in our industry, if there's a film that we can now, I'm sure me, Rana, Archana, all of us are kind of bringing in films into our own regions. Like if anybody wants to bring a film to Kerala, like we are one of the go-tos. Archana is one of the go-tos for Tamil. Or Spirit, Suresh Productions is the go-tos for Telugu. I kind of want the opposite to happen. More of our films to do theatrical, and there should be a certain curiosity, I think. Even if it's some a weekend, I think with just 2 days of breathing, and get them all to kind of meet each other and everybody knows who to speak to. I think that is so important. A lot of the times we don't know where to go, who to go to. Like I even have small films within Malayalam who don't know how to get exhibitors or so then we kind of help. So it's a very interesting time for us for sure.
Vikram, how are you feeling?
Not as optimistic.
Coming from Bollywood, I guess that's the thing with that. He's also not the producer like Karan Johar, who's like at the top of Bollywood. He's who's more into indie stuff, doing a lot of Netflix shows himself. So he's not a popular face or like I would say in Bollywood, Dinesh Vijayan would be at right now the topmost producer in Bollywood, if I'm not wrong. I think Dharma didn't have much this time. That's why I guess he's also done talking the same thing every year.
I think the struggle that that the Hindi film industry, and I think I speak here, which is a little weird because I haven't done a theatrical for a while. But I think from the Hindi film industry perspective, there's a little bit more confusion, I would say, as opposed to the clarity that I feel that the industries from the South have individually and collectively. I think there's a lot more clarity. There's a lot more direction that is very specific as to the kind of films that are being made, the audiences that they are talking to. I think it's a little bit more confusing in the northern part as to who really are we making films for, who are we talking to. The films that are succeeding are surprising us by succeeding. The films that we're expecting to succeed are not. Do believe that I think the more we switch into pure genre or just genre that kind of like broadens from where we are in terms of like the one-size-fits-all Bollywood, I think it'll be a much better outlook. And that's exactly what all the industries in the South are doing, is that there's a very specific audience they're reaching out to, and there's a lot of genre work that they're doing, which is, drawing in an audience in a nice way. And I think that that's exactly, in a certain sort of way,
That's where we should go.
I think so, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I think with genre, he's trying to say make focus stories. Like, don't do romance also and action also and this also. Like, you try to make the whole masala, which I think only works with certain actors and certain stars and certain directors who can pull it off. Like everyone doesn't need to have a dance sequence and and romance and an action, and don't try to make a mixed bhaji of everything. Like, do focus stories, make a horror, make a thriller, make an action film, all out action film like Kill, which is a great example, right? So do focus stories. I think that will be more popular, and that's what people want now. They don't want mixer of everything, like because it's nothing new, it's no refreshment in that.
Rana, what about you?
Like, you started this conversation with let's start the positive, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There's a number that's larger, but it does not mean footfalls.
Yeah.
I think that measure is a dangerous measure to take. India is not a very rich country, and we can't afford tickets to be super expensive, and that being the gain of what the industry is. Unless there is a larger footfall, unless there is a variety of films, I think it's a danger zone. Then what happens is then everything is run on a balance sheet type of level, and most cinema will start looking similar. And that usually happens when this math is taken.
So this is not a number we should get too excited.
Yeah, we should not at all. Actually,
Exactly.
If it's a footfall that's falling consistently, that's something that is pretty dangerous.
That's why I like this guy. He understands, like, his thinking is so clear, and that's something you have to think. Like, it's just because it's made the most money, it's actually not a great thing. Today only I met the guy at Inox, and he told me this like quarter has been horrible, and I saw Dhurandhar, so they were saying that they hope Dhurandhar works and does money because this quarter has been very bad.
We've had interesting spurts. I mean, I can speak for somewhere in some sense Telugu and collectively the South Indian industry in some manner. There have been spurts of interesting cinema that's coming out in that really doesn't have to be in the large spectacle or large star type driven cinema, but again, in pockets, there hasn't been an ecosystem that's consistent for it. Like, I'd say in Telugu, maybe ETV is the only company that stands by making independent films with newcomers with a certain size and scale. As an organization, at an organization level, I don't think otherwise there is that ecosystem that's convenient to all, because you have a larger streamer and other derivative rights that kind of control where this cinema goes when it kind of releases, and there's a different cycle that it's operating in. So I just feel like Vic said, he said there's a one size fits all that's going on, unless we're able to start looking at an ecosystem for different cinema speaking to the audience in a different manner. I think that's the only part that I'm trying to figure out, or we're trying to figure out in some ways.
Yeah. Archana, you've made so many different cinemas, right? You did the blockbuster Love Today, which was 5 crore. But you've also done Goat, which was 300 crore, right? And yeah.
That's a range. Yeah, that's a range. We're pretty weary.
So I get a real kick out of the fact that she paid her hero 200 crores. That's just like a personal piece of joy for me, that this woman is just signing a check for 200 crores. I love that. And then you had the very successful Dragon this year, right? Which I read was at about 37 crore,
37,
right?
Yeah.
What do you find?
So from Love Today to Dragon, that's a big jump of 32 crores.
So you're one of these people that Rana's talking about who's consistently doing smaller, bigger, like a variety of things. What do you find more challenging? Is it the small films that people don't? I mean, when you made Love Today, nobody, or very few people knew Pradeep Ranganathan. But that jump-started his blazing career, right? What do you find more challenging?
Actually, we try and make stories that we're able to relate to, because I just feel that irrespective of who is going to star in it, it needs to sort of engage the audience at some point of time, and people should want to come and see it in a theatre. And we've always backed good stories, because I think that is the fundamental...
Okay. Maybe not the big films, but okay.
For any good cinema, the story and the screenplay needs to be very good. And we are also, I feel that we should respect our audience, because I think we can't clump all of them as A center, B center, C center. I think everyone's evolving. And as a production house, we are constantly tracking, the genre of films that's working. Because say, like Lokah has worked big time, but I wouldn't want to see like 100 superhero films next year.
Correct.
Because
That's
they
true.
cracked something that was very, very, beautiful. Like after Love Today came, we saw a lot of films in that space. So we decided not to go in that genre, because we have to find what is next. Because I don't think the audience wants to see the same thing and the same type of stories again and again. They've seen it once.
Yeah.
We need to either get into that universe or move to...
I think the problem with people in charge and the thinking that, this film worked, that's what people want to see, let's make that. No. They saw that was new for them, they loved it. Now they want to see something else. They don't want to see the same thing because they like that. And this mentality, it's in the audience also. Like I see certain people, I like to watch this kind of movies. But then I ask, which movies, like, I like that movie, I like different movies. They like different movies, but they think they want one type of movie. That's not true. People want different things. That I always say, like Sholay. Do you think Sholay was made thinking, that audience will love this? For that kind of audience, we should add a song. For that kind of audience, some humor? No. They just made a film the way they wanted to. And people loved it. It's still one of the greatest film ever made in Indian cinema. So, you just have to make good films with your conviction. If it's like there's fate to it, but there's also conviction to it, and people want to watch something interesting, something new, something different, especially today. Because they are so much, surrounded by so much different content. Today they are the most diverse audience today. Before, the audience used to be like, we only watch family films, we only watch this film, big or massy audiences, right? But today that's not the case. The audience is diverse. They are different compartments. Someone likes anime, someone like Korean stuff, someone like Japanese, Hollywood. It's all mixed bag. So you have to just make a good thing which is made with your own conviction and just put it out there, and whoever enjoys that will come for it.
Another story or another, kind of world.
Kind of fresh thought.
A fresh world, right? And the second thing is, I think we also need to have, you have to be relatable. Your movies have to be relatable. It has to speak to you. And that is why the budget actually does not matter, because the budget and the star and the market will match. So when you're going for a good story and you don't have a large star, you just make sure that you make it within a tight budget that you'll get a basic return on investment. And smaller films are a bigger risk
Than the big ones.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they are more
Interesting.
work because you have to literally be there and watch every frame.
Because I think if a Vijay film is there, your half the money will come back. Like you just want it to put it out there. So, and if it's great, just wanna make more money for you. If not, but it still will make your investment back. For small film, it's all a risk. If it doesn't work, zero. If it works, maybe, and if it really works, then okay, you get your money back.
Sure that because when you're working with a new director, you have to sort of handhold and make sure that everything goes on track. Or when you're launching a new star, again, you have to market, you have to sort of build the base. So I think we've been lucky. That is the honest truth, because all of us put in the same amount of effort for every film. Some work, some don't work, and I don't think any of us know. I mean, I don't want
It's
to
a
talk to
fact.
everyone,
It's
but
a
we
fact.
don't know why it works.
The only truth is nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We can sit here and
Yeah.
become
Pontificate.
academic. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you apply something to one film, you can't be like, I'll apply all this work on this film, I'll apply this to the next film. It might
That's true.
be a good exercise for your production house or in terms of for your accountants or something. But it doesn't mean the audience is going to really connect.
Yeah.
It's not.
But that's what makes it so magical, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we know when it's bad.
We know when it's bad.
No.
When it's bad, it's pretty
We know when it's like.
Really?
Yeah.
That
if
is-
it's a wreck, a train.
Like that makes total sense. That if someone puts out a bad film and they actually thought it's a good film, then I really question their credibility. There's one thing, you're in a bubble, you think you have made really good stuff, but it doesn't turn out to be. But there's sometimes like that is clearly bad, even if you made it or not. Like you should have that objectivity also. You cannot, that's what makes you, very good in this business.
Like, you're like, oh God, it's going there.
I think when
And what do you do?
know.
What do you do?
No, even as actors, you
Finish
know,
go to the
like,
end, I guess. No?
yeah, you have to go.
You have to go to the end.
Yeah.
There's no way of
You see it
abandoning.
through.
You see it through.
There
You
are
can't
days when you're
abandon
like-
ship there. So.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
days when you're like, hey, if we stop today, how much do we lose? If we just stop
Yeah.
and can this film, what do you think we'll lose? Even those conversations happen sometimes.
Vic, does that happen with streaming shows?
It's not normally, actually.
His own shows got cancelled because of creative differences and all of these things.
Pull that back. Yes, it does. Yes, it happens, and it happens pretty late in the process.
The Hindi film industry, there's a sense that we became too dependent on streaming, right? It was a very
That's
flush environment at one
I think
point.
that's everyone. No?
Everyone,
Everyone, right?
All
Dependent,
industries.
but
It
lesser,
became
I
like
guess, in
training
some
wheels
manner.
on a
Yeah.
bike. We lost our I think we lost our sense of how to balance because that cushion was
much
always
cushioning,
there,
yeah.
right? That cushion
Correct.
and safety was always there.
Yeah.
We forgot that.
In fact, when they pulled back, like in
Yeah.
terms of the numbers changed, in Malayalam we went from like 200 or 250 odd registrations of new films to like 60 something.
really?
Yeah, so that was a very scary time, right? Where I will work with certain actors and they're like, dude, I've been out of work for the past 6 months. And these are known like character artists, people you see regularly. So it's like suddenly we got spoiled. Suddenly we're like, hey, we can go bigger with budgets. You can tell all kinds of stories. There's this major cushioning safety.
That's what like, right? It's like a saap palna, something like that metaphor or something. But like they were just like OTT was just putting money, give us more content, give us more films, just make films, we'll take it, we'll buy it, And then suddenly they were like, oh, we don't have enough money now, and there's no point of spending so much money when it's not giving us more subscribers, and they stopped. And now you got a habit of getting all the money to do something, and now it's not there at all. There's scarcity, and that of course that makes sense that from 200 became 60, and that is very worrisome.
And then suddenly like
Yeah.
it got
and
pulled back. And then you
Tamil
have
is
to,
going through it.
in Malayalam, same. So now we have to readapt to that. But I'm like, I feel like for Malayalam, it's always been theatrical. Like it's such a big way in their culture and our thinking of storytelling.
That helps.
I feel like they can adapt back to that. And
Correct.
it's actually, I still think that's the best way to make movies. But
It's
you're not
theatre
like,
first.
you're not like, oh, this is the cost, this much will be safe. But then you're not thinking of what that theatrical experience is going to be. I think in the old days, there was none of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're betting the house, you're pledging your wife's jewels, and everything was about that theatrical experience. And I think there's more honesty to that storytelling.
Correct.
And I think that's what ruined Bollywood, that even they were like that, and then say, oh, OTT and so much money, forget theatrical, we'll get money from here. And people just keep making projects, not films, projects, get the money from OTT. They got the money and they don't even care theatrical if it works or not. They got the money. And COVID also helped because theater were closed. That also kind of became a catalyst for this thing to happen, for OTTs to take all the power. And now they are struggling because OTT is also like, we don't have money, and people are stuck. Things are not working. The projects, so-called projects, are crashing. They are not making the money from OTT, neither theater, and that has really ruined things in Bollywood.
Hindi cinema is going to find that balance again, because this was what I kept hearing, that that directors knew that basically you would break even or even make profit, and so the theatrical experience was a add-on instead of the reason
Do you make the film?
to make the film. And that's when the quality really started to dip, because it frankly didn't matter. I understand how stories come to the fore of you, and what is the journey when they come to you to the point where you green light. So, Archana, how do stories come to AGS?
Actually, it comes by a lot of people just WhatsApp me with a pitch deck. Somehow, I think most people have my
WhatsApp you
number.
with pitch deck?
That's become a thing now.
Become a thing.
Okay.
No? That's actually pretty.
But it's more interesting from an Archana's perspective, because we as actors there's always that pitch as actors, and therefore it's very different for us. But her as an independent producer is more like, I'm actually very curious to know how that it is.
Yeah, so they WhatsApp.
How do they get you? Like, your number is like,
Yeah, it's somehow there with everyone. I don't know how, but
There you go. Marketing's done somehow.
like most of the ADs will have my number, right? Because I'm
Right.
part of all the WhatsApp groups when you're producing a film. There are so many technicians also
Yeah.
who work. So everyone, most people know my number. So I get it via WhatsApp or email. So I read through the pitch deck.
you do read.
I do read it, yeah. And
Yourself, or you
yes,
have-
and I reply and I say, like, I like it, so can you send me the bound? And then they'll send the bound and then I read it.
Wow.
And if I like it, then I ask for a narration. And then once, if I like the narration, then I send it to my dad. So there are 4 or 5 people who actually listen to it, because gender, age, all that. Because sometimes I might really like it, but my sister will not relate to it, and she's in her late 20s, early 30s. My dad's in his 50s, so we sort of sit as a group and then we discuss.
Interesting.
And if we like it, we greenlight it immediately. There is, it doesn't take too much time, but you have to read like at least 100 scripts before you get one that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vic, how do they come to Andolan?
I'm lucky enough that I'm actually a writer-director myself. So,
Correct.
most
So
of
you're
the time
writing
it's like I'm
yourself.
writing myself. But the ideas that comes actually kind of similar, in the sense that I think my number's also out there, my email's out there. So I get a lot of like blind pitches that sort of start to come in. And like Archana, I tend to at least read, the log line, go through like the basic kind of like storyline. If there's things there, then I'll put them onto my team, get in touch, meet people, talk through what they want to do. But yeah, most of the time it's like, in the case of something like Black Warrant, which was started there, was like,
That is interesting, because that people listening, if you want to do that, if you want to pitch your stories and try to reach out to these producers, this is a way also.
For Wayfarer, there's a team of people that are just constantly listening to everybody's pitches, ideas, and you will not believe the number of people who have stories. Like, you can meet anyone. Your bank manager has a script, and bound. They'll have. I'm not even kidding you. Like, there is
A bounce script.
everybody has
That's
something,
lovely.
and it's great. I mean, I don't know if it's a Malayali thing. Everyone is writing. I have young kids telling me, I have this idea. Can I pitch it? And I'm like, wait, what life experience do you have? How are you going to write about different characters and people? I feel like this whole pitch deck way of filtering is a nice new change that is there, because earlier you'd have to kind of sit through a whole narration.
Yeah.
And that's 2-3 hours you have to invest into, even as an actor.
I think this is something they teach you at film schools also, that or wherever you learn about pitching your idea, right? Even in business, entrepreneur, whatever you are, you want to just a single page with a log line with a character description, like what is it about? Like you should know what's the core of your film and story which you want to just share with the person, which makes the person excited. Not lie, like your story is about something else, but just to get attention you're saying something else. That should not be the case. But just within a reading a single page or reading 3 lines, I should understand what you're trying to do, what's your aim, what's your goal. And I think if you can like kill that at that, and that can really help you get further and further into making your dream come true.
We have to empower writers. In Superboys of Malegaon, there's this great line ki writer baap hota hai. Okay, but have we actually done it? Do you think we have empowered writers
A question that is asked every roundtable.
in a theatre that kind of made you fall back in love with theatres? I mean, for me, it was Lokah.
Sure.
I sat there and we were screaming. Okay, we were just clapping. It was so much fun. What did you guys see this year?
Lokah was one, and one battle after another was the other one.
Yes. Oh my God.
I think F1 is what I watched because I was shooting.
Also F1.
I said I have to watch this in theaters.
Yeah.
And I masked up and I was in Hyderabad and I went and watched
So,
it.
Dulquer, you can't go into theatres.
I mean, I can. There's ways.
You do the cap and the mask.
I feel like you're just drawing more attention to yourself. But it's kind of like which theater has a great entry from the back
Like, who's that man?
with 20 people with him, bouncers and all. But I just kind of figure out how to enter and exit. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, F1.
F1, but I'd forgotten what it's like to have 3 youngsters who had already watched the movie tell every single line before it came out, and like one of them hadn't watched and didn't understand. So like, what is the silent portion? Why is there no sound? Oh, he's becoming one with the car. And I'm sitting like this, like with the mask. I'm like, in between, I'm like, shh. And they're like, shh. He's saying shh to us. They can talk, but we can't talk. And I'm like, I forgot what this is like.
So they also watch films like us only.
It was great. I mean, it's part of that theatrical
That's right.
experience. Yeah.
That's right. How fun.
Yeah.
Archana, what have you seen?
I watch all my movies
That's right.
They
because
own
you're
the cinema.
also in theatre. That's right. Yes.
and I watch almost every film that comes.
Actually, I watched a lot of my films. I mean, the Tamil films or whatever. Like, if I'm in Chennai, I'll watch it at
Yeah.
AGS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
So what was the one that really, where you become like a great audience person again?
like for example, Mission Impossible, right? It was because I took my son and his friend and we went, and he's never seen most of those films, and that was the last film, and you have Tom Cruise sort of thanking people for coming to theaters and actually watching it, right? I thought, so that was quite special for me this year.
Yeah.
But F1 again was there, Lokah.
I remember like Jailer, I watched it at AGS. It was wild.
Absolutely.
In Chennai, it was insane.
Oh my God.
Insanity.
That interval scene
Or I
where
went to watch, I think.
that dead body lands on their lap. Oh my God.
We were shooting in Karikudi and Pathan dropped, and we had to drive to Madurai or Trichy or something to find the nearest theater that's playing the film. And we all went, the whole cast and crew. That was like epic. I think whenever there's like a huge film with a superstar and you have to kind of go and find, a theater to watch. Like all that kind of reminds me of times when you made the effort to go and watch movies.
Yeah.
And the films draw you. Like you can't miss it. You don't want to hear about it from other people.
Yeah.
You have that FOMO. And, yeah.
Rana?
Well, I'm there every week in the theatre. That's
Watching
understanding.
everything that comes out.
Yeah. What is
Sinners, I think.
Sinners? Yeah, Sinners. That was a film that I was really excited. And also, I think weirdly because I didn't see the trailer also of the film. I just
So
saw
you
the
did
poster.
not know vampires were
I didn't know
happening?
vampires were happening. I lost my mind in the theater. I was like, okay, now that's a genre shift to a totally different degree. I think that Sinners
It's
would
the
be.
year of vampires, clearly.
Clearly, Lokah, Sinners.
I'm thinking of Mission Impossible. It came out. I remember the submarine scene. He goes into the water. But what happens? Like, I have forgotten the plot already. Like, was it the last one? Or there's one more supposed to come. What happens at the end? I've totally blanked out on that film. What happens to Ethan Hunt? There's an action scene. They fire a missile or something. Oh, he flies on the plane. They fight on the plane, right? And he survives? Like, what happens at the end?
The other conversation, guys, that has been a big sort of headline grabber this year is, of course, flexi hours and 8-hour workdays, right? I mean, Deepika's statement just created this massive, massive conversation, outrage. And the truth is, in this business, it is a function of where you are in the unit, right? What is the job you do? Because a DOP will necessarily be on a set much, much longer than an actor. It's a function of where you are in the pecking order on that food chain, of your personal choice. I mean, I remember Vinod told me that he was the production controller on Jaane Bhi Do Yaro, okay? And he said that they just kept shooting till the DOP, Vinod Pradhan, fell asleep on the camera. Because there was no money. There was no money. So there was no other way to do this, right? But how do you all, as producers, as the people who are creating that environment on the set, sort of see this?
Question.
How do we have better working conditions? Or can we have it at all, given that money is always such a stress?
See, better is also very, what do I say, it's relative, no?
Of course,
See,
completely.
Like again, you started with Tom Cruise saying, cinema is life, and this is not what I do, but this is, and that's real for everybody.
For everyone, yeah.
This is not a job; it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like you either choose to be in it or not.
Sure.
And I think again, each film will govern something else. It'll ask for something.
This is something interesting. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this because I have my own thoughts that, as you said, it's a lifestyle. It's like, you cannot make art a 9 to 5 job. In a sense, like I understand the perspective of working hours and it's wrong and people should get time off and all those stuffs I understand, but maybe you are at a stage in life and career that you can command that. But overall, making a film is it's a process, just keeps shifting. You have long hours, you have you have to give all of it to the film when you're shooting it, and then the job is that if an actor or someone, then you get a time off. You get few months to prepare for the next film, then you have time. Like it's not a 9 to 5 thing, and every month you have 28 days of working, and forget the actors, the crew, they have to come way earlier and to leave the last. They are doing they have to earn money every day, that's how it's based, and they have to keep hopping from one film to but the thing is, the nature of the work of making a film is so distinct that you cannot compress and structure it in a 9 to 5 job thing. Oh, come at 9 o'clock, do the job and leave at 5. That's not how films are made, and good films are made.
It's not a factory. It's not
Yep.
like we sit for 8 hours, the best scene is going to come out. We could sit for 50 and nothing might come out too. So I think the equation changes, and unless at least the top brass understands that they're all involved in creating one story and whatever it requires to do that, it doesn't trickle down otherwise. So I think the conditions will be dependent usually on whether it's the top talent, whether it's the top HODs in that cycle. The rest of it is pretty structured in terms of how any other business would work. So I think it's pretty hard to define that as an industry standard across.
Correct. Correct.
See,
It'll be project to project.
It'll be project to project. What that, see, like if you choose, a mainstream actor chooses to do something independent, you got to have a different culture for that film than what the mainstream film did. I take so many notes from how the Malayalam industry functions. The speed at what they make stuff, the cost effectiveness of how it's created there. And I think it's learning from each other. If you can find the learnings of different...
Sort of the best practices.
From each other, I think that's a better way going forward than to define a larger structured time. And
because you can't.
It's hard. It's pretty impossible. I don't think...
Can you?
I've never been able to do that.
I think it varies industry to industry.
Yeah.
I think, so what you mentioned about Jaane Bhi Do Yaro is historically how Malayalam used to function, or probably still functions.
You just keep going.
They just keep going.
You just keep going.
When a lot of the times...
they clap while they say pack up.
Yeah, like I was telling
because nobody knows when it's
you don't know
going
when
to pack up.
you don't know when you'll finish.
Really?
Yeah, so we can ask post dinner, how many more scenes, and the chief will tell you something, or it can go till 2. It can just keep going. And then suddenly they'll be like, oh, we're done for the day, pack up. We'll applaud because and it would have been a great, grueling, hard day.
Yeah.
And then I did my first Telugu film, but also I wasn't the main lead. I was more of a supporting character. And for the first time in my acting career, I was like, oh wow, like I was.
You have an evening.
I was waiting, and then by 6 they were like, you can go home. I was like, what do I do with this time? Like, my brain wasn't tuned to that, right? And then like a film going on.
I think the Nani film. No, that's not him. Oh, that's something else.
Like longer than. Because I remember like Swapna asking me, saying, like, we need about 25, 30
Oh,
days.
Mahanati. He's talking about
This is
Mahanati.
Mahanati.
Yeah. So I was like, great. I was like, my daughter was just born. I was anyway taking like 3 months off to kind of just be at home. And so you just need 25, 30 days. Over 3 months, you can take it. Which became 9 months and like some 40 days. But it's just, also as a film, they're also trying to figure out. But I found that starkly different. Or like when you're shooting in Tamil, there's like, I think second Sundays are off or something.
Yeah.
Second Sunday.
Second Sundays are
pretty
off.
much everywhere, I think. No?
Yeah, but not Malayalam, like we'll shoot through everything. But also we shoot tight, right? So if we would shoot 35 days, 45 days, 50 days, we'll finish film. But in that time, there could be Sundays, Onam, New Year's, Christmas, but we'll keep shooting.
Really?
Yeah. We love,
Okay.
we actually love celebrating things on set. Like Onam on set is a big deal. But having said that, like, I think now we are trying to, as far as like, when I produce, I will do this best practices from Telugu, Tamil into Malayalam, and we'll finish. Let's not stress the team out too much. But it's the same. But DQ, we have to finish this location, and then we don't have so-and-so artist date, so then we'll have to go till such and such time. And I'm like, there's nothing you can control to do it. I feel like each industry functions differently.
And there's so many variables. Like you have a location for certain time, you have paid for it, and you cannot take a Sunday off because you're paying for that, whole thing. For whole Sunday you have to pay extra because your set and things are there. You have to wrap it up there, and then maybe after you finish a location, then maybe you can take a break. You can give a week off, whatever, and then you have a date of the actor. If you don't complete shooting with the actor in these 20 days, then the actor will go to some other work, already has planned. So you have to finish everything in that 20 days, and you have other act. Like there's so many, permission combinations that you cannot really structure it in a single way, throughout.
Our efficiency levels we're used to a certain thing. It's a cultural thing. It's not, I don't think anyone is more or less efficient. It's just, we've always had to work tighter. We've always had film, which is a massive component of our budgets, pre-digital. And that culture is always in us, so we I think work more like a schedule, like 25 days, 35 days, 45 days. So you're gunning it till the end. You're just trying to finish that location or that town or wherever you're shooting, or that sequence. It was like one massive fight sequence, whatever it is. And they just go till the end. And that's just how it is. And you need different energy levels, but you'll keep going because it's collective.
Correct.
You cannot be down on energy because the light boys or somebody's come earlier than you and they'll stay longer than you. So how can you come there and be like, oh, this is too long. I mean, I don't have the energy. You just can't do it.
Very true.
So I think it is a great way to work, but somewhere, I start worrying if is creativity coming down, is energy levels coming down. How do you stay
Which
there?
is going to
Maintain
affect
that.
the film.
Yeah.
Like we're shooting like a slapstick comic sequence, and you have to be energetic all day or a fight sequence for 9 days. That's when you're like wondering, are we pushing it too much?
Yeah. Do you need a break?
Yeah.
Yeah. Archana, what about you?
I think pre-production really helps. Planning really helps. So before we go to shoot, we have our shot breakdowns, and sometimes if you're not able to finish all the shots on one day, maybe there's a little bit of overlap. Otherwise, more or less, not more than 10% of the production budget it can go over in terms of number of days of shoot or whatever, because my biggest worry is then you lack clarity. Like I will not work with a director who has no clarity. Like I don't want you coming there and then deciding, this is the story that I want to make. Because a movie is a very serious thing. A lot of livelihoods depend on it. And as a production house, we have to honor salaries, we have to honor payments on time. The movie has to start on a particular date. And I'm very happy the OTT platforms are insisting on release dates also, because that discipline needs to be there. Because programming for a theater or programming schedules, because everyone has to make money for a movie to make money. It's not just those who are in it, but also, the technicians have to make it, the distributors have to make it, the theaters have to make it, and so do the platforms, because only then it sort of builds, right?
Yeah, it has to work for
It has to work for everyone. So I really believe in that discipline. So
I really liked her opinion on this because that tells you that she's a very balanced producer. Like she understands that kind of films she wants to make, and the structure of it, all how you have to be efficient. But also, it's not just about profit. It's not about how much money she can make. It's also about all the people involved. Like if all of them don't make money, then there's no future. You will make money and you take everything, and you are happy, rich for once, but for a long term, it will not work because people around you like, "Arey, we are not getting anything. We are not gonna work with you." So you have to maintain that relationship of timely payments. Everyone is happy working with your company. All of these things also matter, and I think listening that from her makes a lot of sense.
9 to 5 is not possible in cinema, right? Because we've all signed on into this crazy world. So because sunrise called sheet is there, sunset called sheet is there, and so it's a collaborative effort as well. But we should not waste anybody's time. That's
Also,
the idea.
I think going extra on a day is cheaper than an additional day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That additional day
Yeah.
is a massive, massive
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try and limit that to the maximum extent possible, and we spend a lot of time on pre-production, so that aspect of it is covered. And we try, and like small films, we won't do Sundays, we will not do holidays because that's an additional
That's
batter that
expensive
we need.
Correct. That's double the cost.
That's the double the cost.
Yeah,
So whereas
yeah.
if it's a massive film, your interest cost is so high that you need to
Work on
finish it. So we take all those calls.
Depending.
So yeah, it's a very for me, everything is numbers. So passion is a little less.
Also, another thing I feel like with how industries operate, I think everybody most people in a Tamil film lives in Chennai
Yeah.
or in Hyderabad or in Bombay.
That's a good
But I
point.
feel like Kerala is not like that. Everybody lives everywhere. So we all come together to make a film.
Right. Then you finish it.
Correct. So if you want to give
It's like a picnic.
a Sunday off, nobody knows what to do. Everybody's sitting in hotel rooms. All equipment rentals are just sitting there. So even if I want to give them an off, they're like, no, let's just finish. Let's finish and go home. Let's finish this schedule and go home.
Go home. Right.
It's a trip.
No, but Malayalam cinema is just amazing. The way they are able to
But
get
it's historically that. I
output.
feel like that
Yeah.
culture came from
Yeah.
low budgets and shooting on film
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But Vic, you trained with Sanjay Leela Bansali, who famously creates on set.
One shot a day, yeah.
Yeah, it's one shot a day. What kind of a creator? Yes.
Oh,
So he did.
Surprise for me also.
When I worked at the Make, it wasn't one shot a day. It was maybe 4 shots a day. But yeah.
His heart is watching. Vic, what did you take away from that, and what kind of a sort of head of the state are you?
No, like Archana is saying, I think planning is everything if you're well prepped. And
He is very known for, like, he's one of my favorite directors, so I know a lot about him. He always is, planned everything, pre-production, everything is right, and then he only goes to shoot.
think that, look, we all
Opposite
know
of
that it's
Anurag.
going to be those 9 to 9 days, 7 to 7 days. 12 hours is a given
Yeah.
as a minimum. What I don't like is feeling exploited or exploiting the crew where, okay, if you know you're going to go a double shift, just as long as everybody knows it in advance, as long as they're prepared for it. So production can plan, food can be there, just as long as that's happening. And then you're also at some point in time in a certain sort of way compensating afterwards, knowing that, okay, we're going to shoot 6 days a week, have to have a day off every week, and I think that it's important for everyone to try and do that as much as you can.
But it's sometimes as simple as just not, like a Dominic, not having an ego,
Yeah.
not having control issues and hearing everybody. And sometimes department heads or even any crew member, sometimes they just want to be seen or heard. It's very small. It's a very tiny thing. And we've seen things like where
I think it all comes down to being a good human being, right? Like, ego, like listening to others, giving everyone chance to say something, not treating them as slaves that, you have giving them salary, so anything you want, they'll do. That's something, I think these are just human traits that you need to have, and I think things would be much better for everyone. Like, you should know, okay, I'm just pushing them too much, maybe they are not well today. Like, it's basic human etiquettes. I think that's humanity.
you give them basic comfort, decent hotels, basic good food,
Yeah.
healthy, clean, conveyance. then they're willing to put in more.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a respect thing. And then if they feel like they're part of a team, they feel like they're...
The other thing that's a constant conversation, especially in Hindi cinema, is entourage costs. Okay? A couple of months ago, Amir did this interview and he talked about how shameful it was that actors had producers paying for like crazy things, 4 vanity vans, and one is a chef who is making your food, and another is a gym, and another is a meeting place. And he talked about how harmful it is for the industry. Now, I don't know if it's as bad in Tamil and Telugu and Malayalam, but how do we contain this? Vic, do you have a sense of Hindi?
It's out of control.
It is.
Right now, especially when it comes to it's worse in the marketing stage. The entourages get bigger when you're promoting a film and stuff. So it's bloating, just unnecessarily bloating costs. And I think part of the reason why, if you're going to bloat the cost of a film to X amount, then that means you have to go sort of like, that's why recoveries don't happen as much as they should. That's why, so it is a problem. I think that but I also think part of the reason is because there's a tendency overall, and it's also happening right now in the streaming place, is that where, again, the idea of you need to cast somebody, therefore you're willing to pay them, therefore you're willing to do whatever they ask you because there's, you feel you need the star. I think at some point in time, it's weird saying with 2 actors, 2 stars sitting. At some point in time, it's like the stars themselves have to be responsible, but also the risk-taking to be able to say you can make this without having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people and make it with somebody else. I think just that risk-taking where you're not afraid of making something.
It's like the star, they can ask anything because they are getting it. Like the moment you stop doing it, then what else they'll do, right? Like stop working with people who are, asking for all ridiculous stuff. Like, okay, there's a Salmaan. Shahrukh mostly does his own films. But these people, big stars who will, give you that big number in the opening weekend, all of that, they bring that audience, right? They are the highlight of the film. Doesn't matter who's directing and what's the story. They, and most of them actually, these big stars actually work on profit sharing. Like they'll get a nominal fee, and then after the release, whatever profits is earned, they get a cut from that, which gives them higher chance of earning more money. So that makes so much sense. But these bigger now so-called stars who have become nowadays new generation Instagram, stars which are just asking for random stuff. They're 9 vanity vans and all these people and all. Stop giving them that. First of all, they are not giving you the benefit of them being a star there. So it's just stop doing it. And if they stop doing it, then they'll of course stop asking. They're getting it. That's why they're taking it.
You need the guarantee of a star there is this thing. This from an attitude perspective, I just think that needs to change. But yes, I do feel that there has to be some amount of responsibility from
Actors.
From actors.
Is it as bad?
No, I don't mean, I don't know what, is it?
See, like, it was getting out of hand at some point. And I remember this year very clearly because there was an industry strike because costs were going up. And we didn't shoot for about a month and a half. Like, everyone stopped. And
that would never happen.
So there was this massive meeting that went on for about 2 or 3 days for different sets of people. Majority actors in some manner, actors and producers who were deciding some things. And post that year, I remember that was the year Robo and Gajini, like big Tamil films started releasing in Telugu. We were like, what's happening here? Where are our films? There's a certain scale that's taken over. And we realized cost is the only thing that's in our control. And beyond a certain cost, okay, like everyone is an individual who will want a certain luxury, comfort in their lives. But the production provides only for these. And the rest is picked on as a tab by the actor. And I think that's totally okay.
Fair, yeah.
If it's not landing on...
But do you have rules in Telugu about what entourage costs can be?
Yeah, there were rules set in the beginning and they're pretty much followed actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're caps.
That's interesting.
They're caps. And also I think because the larger stars are producers in some manner, they've all belonged to a production house, they understand production in a certain mechanism. I think that's the reason it's capped more.
Correct.
So it's always stayed in control. It never went out of control after that.
I think Malayalam, the fight was the opposite. I think to first have like vanity vans for women or like,
correct.
Because we just never had any luxury on set and you were shooting always on location all over the state. uh, like they would just go get permission from a house, pay those house owners something. That'll be the house we go and change in, use the restrooms or whatever. That was always the practice. So
Sometimes, I feel like not having money is actually, less problems.
I don't even know where you'll park so many vanity vans in Kerala. It's a fact.
That's really
It's a fact.
That is such a practical thing.
Basic problems.
If you just
park these.
Forget the chef.
I want to know what was happening at Param Sundari, set.
Where would the vanity?
So this is I've done films here. I've done brand shoots in Bombay, and a lot of it is done in studios. So you can have a morning you go to office type of situation and line these up and then do this. But I don't even think it's logistically possible the way we shoot in Malayalam, because we shoot all over the state, and these things are the size of buses, and it's just impossible to do that. But having said that, it's the same thing. Strikes will happen. And that's historically how we've even worked as a state. Like if it's not conducive, if it doesn't, if it's against the production cost of the film, ideally every penny you spend should be seen on screen. Everything else is, like you said, just makes it's just fat. But I think most of the actors, absorb most of our own costs. If anything, it's your paycheck includes this or something. It's very easy to work that. If I'm being paid X minus so and so, my entourage cost or whatever, this luxuries that I'm now used to, that I want, I can absorb it. It's not the end of the world. And that is a good practice to follow. Because there's no end to what you can... It's like saying I want perks, right? Like, then there's no end to perks. You can, and when something is free, you enjoy it so much more,
That's the human mentality.
Then you keep wanting more and more. Or like, if you don't ask, somebody else in your team will ask, and then it just balloons. It doesn't end. So it's something.
Are you mindful, Dulquer, to say that no, don't ask for this? Do you tell your team?
My team will get it from me. They're like, I'm sorry, I'm fine. I can afford it. I'll pay for it. If you are getting used to it, I'm fine. And I like to kind of. Also, I travel alone. If I'm on family holidays, I do bookings. I do travel, and I pack my own bags. I take my own suitcases. No nanny even. So I'm like, if I can do this by myself on holiday, I can function like this and shoot. I don't know how to put makeup. That I've never understood. But if push comes to shove, I'll do that also. Or I'll ask the film ka makeup person to do it. Yeah. So I don't think we necessarily... It's better to know that you're independent of all this. And for your team to know that you can function without everybody should be dispensable. Yeah. And if they start feeling that, then like you said, like when I said marketing balloons so much, is because all these people now start to think we can't do this without them.
Yeah. Now assistants have assistants.
Yep. Which I think for us is amusing because I don't think it's that.
No.
It's just not there. Culturally, it's not there.
8 people, 10 people, 12 people.
Is normal.
It's just like...
That's the routine now. 8 people is like...
And they'll all come in their own cars or something, right?
They all come in their own cars. They all have assistant car. I mean, it's always a negotiation right at the beginning, because the first thing a producer will be like, okay, this actor, oh my God, I have to now negotiate with them to be able to say what is going to be under there, and it's such a headache. It's such a headache.
Yeah. What is it like in Tamil?
Tamil, it's also getting bad, but we are very, very clear. We are like, this is what we can afford.
You set the rules.
We set it, and we don't want to work otherwise. We are okay with that.
That's exactly what you want.
And there are a lot of like really good talent, and that's how it's going to work from now on. Because as he rightly pointed out, you're not going to see it on the screen. Yeah. So we'll have to make it as tight, like especially, when they have hair and makeup coming in from Bombay. They don't understand that then we have to book tickets for every schedule. We have to put rooms for them. It's a large cost. And it's slowly starting to shoot up, and it's largely because of managers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the real...
It's not the actors.
It's the disconnect between the manager, the actor, the production.
And so often you can talk directly to an actor and fix the problem.
Yeah, we always do that. I just directly tell them this is what we can do. And then
so this is the middleman problem, right? Always whenever there is a middleman, the communication goes, haywire, and things don't end up going wrong. And because there's a middleman, he's taking something, saying something, trying to... And from an actor's perspective, they're like you want someone on your side to take care of all this stuff. You don't want to negotiate and sit with the producer. Oh, I'll take this much. You give me. You want some other person to handle it, but there should be some things which should be very clear between the producer and the actor. Not the third man trying to be involved in between that.
Decide what they want to do, and it's not as bad as Hindi, but we just want to make sure there is no miscommunication, because the politics also happens there.
Yeah.
And when we want smooth shoot, we want everyone to be happy, which means the managers and the entourage needs to be happy as well.
Yes.
So it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to pamper them, but not burn ourselves. So it's a
But they can't become bigger stars than the stars.
Absolutely.
And this is something like
Well said.
I think my team knows very well. I'm like, are you the star? You're not the star. So I don't want to be hearing things like, you demand, no, nothing, go home, it's fine. And I've had these same people from like my second film or whatever, like they're not going to go anywhere, because there is so much other bonding that we do, and there's that family feel. You can decide not to do certain things, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I did an interview with Ajit in Dubai. There was nobody
I've read it to it. Check it out.
with him.
He's famous for it.
yeah.
I had a makeup person. He doesn't even do makeup.
Yeah, he doesn't do makeup.
Okay, so I'm embarrassed because he's sitting there with no one, and I'm sitting here and there's a makeup person, and I was like, this is mortifying because he's the superstar and I'm just doing the damn interview. He, in a corner, changed, sort of pulled his own, there was this bag he had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it was such a culture shock for me. I couldn't get over it. And he was holding doors open for people. I said, no, just don't.
No, but he's very sweet and very simple.
Ajay, it was such a culture shock because I'm used to the 8 people entourage. And which is just sad. It is sad because ultimately, if it's not in the movie, it hurts everyone.
Yeah.
But also, having said that, when I did Hindi films here, my 2 people that I would come with, we would just get pushed around on set.
What do you mean?
I had to create this
Okay, that's a big revelation for how Bollywood works.
delusion of being this big star. Otherwise, I wouldn't find chairs to sit. I wouldn't find place to look behind if I want to see the monitors, like a big crowd of people. So I'm like, wow, so this is about perception.
Yeah.
So then,
And the more people you have,
and apparently if you come in some fancy car with a lot of people and they come in their own cars, I said that earlier, then the perception like, oh, you're a star. Hai.
yeah,
Which is sad. Like, that's not where my energy should go, right?
absolutely not. Whoever pushed you around should be ashamed.
Oh, I had like props and all, like. What will you shoot today? Like, I get whacked on the head with some prop. Like.
Is that a big culture shock, Dulquer, when you go?
I just couldn't understand. I was like, this is just like, I don't want to be mean about any industry.
He has only done one, right? Karwa. On that, Irfan was there, and interesting.
Man, it's like, love, respect.
You can be
everybody.
mean about the Hindi film industry. We deserve it.
But I guess it's a cultural thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like me and Rana were discussing, the size of Hindi is so massive. The number of theaters, the markets, so many states speak the language, and so many states will watch the film. And we were just like, oh, we have like 1 or 2 states, and we think we're like, the big deal. So like, maybe that influences things. Maybe the size of the industry influences things.
He had told me years ago, I think we did an interview 6-7 years ago, and he said, the thing is, you guys have too much money.
Could be that.
Yeah.
It's
he
true.
said,
You get
"That's
spoiled,
the
right? You
And
get
also the larger, barring 1 or 2 companies in the south, there are still individual producers that raise this money in a finance model, which is not in a structured way.
Not corporate.
Interest will be 24%, 36%.
Yeah, that money is expensive.
It will just be ridiculously expensive, right? And that can't afford all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I feel that's what we lack in Hindi. We lack the individual producer who's going to go out there and end up taking a risk and borrowing the money and making something out of pure passion. I feel that's...
It's too corporate.
It's too corporatized over here. It's too studio-led. It's too corporatized. People are, either going directly to... And even the studios, what one had maybe 10 years ago, is all kind of like now there's Jio and there's Z, Sony to an extent, and there's a handful of them, and then there's a few producers like a Sajid or a Dino or Vinod, who are there, who are very, very passionate in the old-fashioned way. There has to be, many, many more of them who really can lead films from beginning to ending, carry films exactly what a producer needs to do.
Like them.
Like them, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I think, in studio and like corporate, it's like nobody's money.
Correct.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying if it's us, we can be like,
point.
hey, it's my money. Just take it easy.
Yeah.
This doesn't grow on trees.
The fourth
I can
one
have
doesn't
that.
count.
Yeah, I can have that conversation. And
Yeah.
each of us can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But when it's the studio or...
Something Anurag Kashyap said, right? Like, they are employees. They don't have to think future of 10 years. No. They just need to do the job right now. Maybe they'll get a better job, better salary. Like, they don't really care about how much money is being spent, all of that.
a massive MNC, you're like, oh, some dude in America, like it's public money, something like it's a listed company or something. So I think lack of ownership is a major problem.
Yep.
Nobody owns your film. I've had films where, why was such a shoddy release? Finance didn't like the film. What?
Yeah.
Why did you make us promote it for so many days? Oh, that was a marketing call. So who owns the film?
Who owns the film?
Nobody owns the film.
Yeah.
Right? You keep getting bounced around, blaming different departments. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. That's a tough one. But in the middle of all of this, there are these two gentlemen who are putting their might behind a Sabarbonda. Okay?
Yes.
Which is one of the finest films we've seen this year.
I've not seen it.
You both put your muscle behind that. You were also attached to Bakshobandi. And the indie film space is, I think, the hardest battlefield of all, right? There's no distribution, there's no finances, there's no stars. And yet, this year I'm hearing it's even harder. If it could get even harder, it has gotten even harder.
But I'll tell you what the beauty of this indie scene, and the more I work with this group, films are still being made.
Yeah?
See, if this happened to the mainstream industry, it would have been shut down by now, without doubt.
Yeah.
But the
What a
indie guy
point.
is going because that's pure passion running in,
Yeah.
just telling that story.
No exit in mind. There's
There's no exit in
no
mind.
idea where it's going to come out.
Yeah, but then but they're still being made. And I think that is the beauty of what indie cinema stands for. It's like you need nobody. You just have that story, that bunch of people that believe in it. And look at All We Met, look at Sabarbonda. They're just beautiful movies.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Spirit's doing. It's like, can we find a structure to this in some manner where there is consistency in a way? All of them are finding very interesting international appeal. It's like there is a market out there. There are people out there, which is because it's all that one-size-fits-all formula that's around, whether it's through distribution, marketing, or any other structure. I think that's the problem for it. The minute we find the alternative, I think it'll
come together.
They'll come
Good
together
point.
in a very flourishing way.
Anurag told me last year, like he called me, he said, congratulations. I said, why? He said, Udaan is finally profitable. So,
How many years?
after like 15 years, and that's only licensing rights. It's only licensing rights that actually made the film eventually.
It's one of the best films. It was on our list of the 25 best films made in this century.
I know, but that's the lifetime of film ends up making it profitable. And now it's like, chalo, whatever money comes in, great. It's profitable for everybody.
Correct.
But indie films need that.
Yeah.
They need that structure. They need that guarantee of being able to sort of like be at a place, that can do that. And it's not that much money, honestly, compared to the kind of licensing fees that are being paid to big Bollywood films.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
We distributed a small film called Feminici Fatima, which found so much love. But the way we found that film was that
Yet to watch that movie.
particular filmmaker came to us to pitch something. And I think he had a very soft voice, and you couldn't fully hear, or his accent was he's from North Kerala or something. And this narrating the script was not kind of communicating, like we're not fully understanding what he's saying. So then just randomly like, what else have you done? Can we see something that you've done? He said, I made this film. So you made a film? Yeah, it's called Feminici Fatima. And it's like, okay, and we're not able to kind of put it out there because nobody really wants to buy the film. Oh, can we watch this film? And it turned out to be this delightful little film. But I'm saying something as simple
Complete chance.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's some communication gap.
Yeah.
We're not able to understand what the story that he's narrating or something like that. Can we see some? So how? And I don't know how to like. I think I'm sure Rana probably is filtering a lot more of the cinema. But if there is some structured way that we can do it, I think it's something we can all do.
Yeah. Okay, I have two more questions. One is, Rana, you talked about AI, and truthfully, I don't understand fully the implications of what all is going to... I mean, I'm either hearing like it's sort of the new golden age, there'll be this great democratization, or it's doomsday. It's like it's all over,
Extremes.
people are going to lose jobs. How are you all feeling about it, and how are you all processing this moment, and what you all will do as storytellers?
Well, first, I think disruption is always needed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get complacent with what we're doing.
Good point.
It's like any new tech, we'll have some kind of resistance at all times. I set up a visual effects facility in a post lab 20 years ago.
That's how you began.
Yeah, and they used to think any film that went and did a DI flopped in the theaters, and they stopped doing DI for 3 years because the films that did. So it's just weird, right?
Right.
And then now there's no other process but that. So I think
It's always that. I buried this, right? Like, it's a tool. It's a tool for you to tell better stories, right? Better stories. Now, how you use that tool, do you misuse it? How CGI came, it became a tool, and then people start to misuse it, and people didn't watch the films. Same thing. If you do too much AI, use AI shots, and whatever fits to tell a good story, use that tool, right? Which is legal in a legal way. So just AI, you have to look at that like that. You cannot run away from it. You cannot stop it.
technology there's no good or bad to it. It's
The
just
usage.
creating an efficient way for us to function better. Like what was visual effects a decade ago, and then today it helps us make cinema that's very, very different. I think that process is just going to get efficient. It's not doomsday at all. Like I don't look at it like that, unless it's used for war and stuff like. And also sometimes like this, we were in a bunch of interviews now. We said, like sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. Like we're just telling stories. We're making films. That's all. We're not flying rocket ships. We're not going to war. We're not doing any of those. People are going to Mars with rockets, right? That's real stuff. We're just telling stories. And I feel it's any aid to telling stories better.
And it will aid.
It will aid. And see, like it's like when, like this is actually something that I heard in a conference when I was abroad, and he said AI is like a refrigerator, but you can make many products that go into the refrigerator and start serving things. Like Coca-Cola makes money because of the refrigerator. It's not like the refrigerator has become Coke. So,
Right.
so it's like
What a way to explain it. Wow.
Tool sort of thing.
is
It's a
this
tool.
tool
Yeah.
is this way you can serve your content in a different way to the audiences that you're telling. And that's we just have to work our way through it. We just feel like it's doomsday because it's progression is so fast. From the day it started to where it is today, it progresses much faster because of its computing power than any other tech that we've seen. So to me, it's like the new internet age. And I'm pretty excited about that time coming.
Nice. Are you guys excited, or is anyone concerned about Tilly Norwood, the AI actor?
I mean, I think for one, we're all kind of fed up and put off by AI-generated images and videos.
Yeah.
You can easily catch it now. You can easily tell. So even if pitch decks have it,
Yeah.
pitch decks are full of
AI
images.
like, we just don't want to see anything. Like hand draw it.
Yeah.
Like I want to go back to the board, draw it, get the frame.
For Kanta, we want hand
We
painted.
want hand painted stuff. Like just see the frame like that. Yeah.
I'm sort of cautiously optimistic about it because I feel it'll definitely help us plan better, and there are so many things that we can do with AI that we can tell different kind of stories now that was not possible because of budget constraints like a decade ago, right? So that is definitely there. But also our industry has so many unskilled laborers, and it's a large industry that depend on this kind of work. So to sort of automate it and cut off, I think we need to give enough time to adapt, and also reskilling needs to happen somewhere.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's something that all of us need to focus on, so that people should not be left behind because they don't have access to it or they don't have training for it. So it needs to be balanced.
It's a great tool for information and I think pre-production. Somewhere you're seeing it. Like you're seeing how you gather information, I think, is faster.
No, you can actually make the entire film.
Sure, yeah.
And
like how you used to
see it,
storyboard
right?
before.
Like storyboard.
Yeah, I keep hearing about writers
Cost
going to
cutting.
ChatGPT and saying, how should this film end? ChatGPT tell me. Really? Vic, are you excited about AI?
No.
Not at all.
To Archana's point, I think that we need some sort of guardrails. We need guardrails in place, because my worry with AI is not the technology itself. My worry is about who's making the technology, and therefore how much you're being forced to use it because you have no other option, because it's going to lower your costs, or it's going to make. So yes, when it comes to a young filmmaker who doesn't have the money to go out there and make a short film, is using AI to show a proof of concept.
Yeah.
To bring to you, say,
Like
this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But when it comes to the same thing as saying, where a diktat comes saying, we believe AI can save us 20 crores and this kind of stuff, let's use it. Let's use it how? Let's use it, I mean, what does that mean when, it starts to become a contest then? Because, so I just feel that we're still in the sort of nascent stage where we need to put those guardrails in place. We need to, whether it's reskilling, or whether it's sort of like knowing the fact that, okay, AI, should and can be used in this stuff. But for example, if it's ad films are already being done on AI.
Yeah.
Right? Completely.
Yeah.
Beginning to ending.
Yeah.
You have car commercials fully being done. Now, if you adopt
Shakun
the same
Batra
thing...
showed me an ad film
Correct.
he's made completely on AI.
Correct,
Yeah.
but now when you start to adopt that same thing into a feature film kind of space, you're going to sort of like do that, where you're going to say, okay, AI is going to take over from costume people to production design to carpenters to tailors to that kind of stuff. It's a lot of labor that's kind of like potentially, and I'm not saying the doomsday scenario is that everybody adopts it within a certain sort of year, you've got that many labor falling off a cliff. Eventually, maybe it will happen someday. But what are the guardrails we're putting in place to make sure that it's...
Thing is that you cannot stop it. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, just because the fear is there, people lose job. You cannot say, because that you can stop it. No, you cannot stop it. It will come. As always, we evolve. That's the nature. Evolution never stops for anyone, and that will happen. Now, how do you prepare yourselves? As you said, reskilling them, trying to find a way, guardrails. Like, okay, you should not use it AI in this manner. Of course, you can use it, but not in this manner. Like the strikes that happened, in Hollywood and all. So there has to be some rules put in place, but you cannot stop it from happening.
To end on the optimistic note,
Yes, sure.
what is your big hope for 2026? Vic, can we start with you?
wow.
We have so many. Let's go.
Yeah. More movies, more theatrical movies. I just feel that very, very broadly, more theatrical, fun events, and I'm not saying events in terms of like big budget. I'm saying events are like movies that I want to be excited about watching in the movie theater.
Yeah.
So like just more of that is my number one on my wish list.
Archana?
I want all the big films to win next year. I just want, because so much work goes into making these big films. They have to do well.
This year was not good
They have
for
to
them.
fire, big time. Yeah.
I hope, this whole division of industries in pan-India, this nonsense changes, and we all do well, and all industries do well, and all movies are watched by everyone, and as one country, even more like patriotic and all that. But I think it's cool. I think it'd be nice where, hey, there's this kick-ass film coming from Bengali, and we're all waiting for it, or like Hindi, or Tamil, or Telugu, Malayalam. We should just wait for films and everybody knows everybody, and we'll all somehow figure out each other's languages, or read subtitles, or dub or something. Maybe AI can help with dubbing.
So there is vlubbing, apparently.
Sure. I mean, I've they're like, sir, if you don't have time, we'll AI dub you your voice in Hindi. And I was like, okay, show me. And I'm like, what? Like, it has like some tone of pitch or something, but it has no accent, it has no
Emotion
or exclamations or anything. Like anything that sounds like me, I'm like, this is not me, this sounds like somebody else. maybe that is the future we can get to, where Rana sounds like himself in
the other languages.
in a complete,
Yeah.
I mean French.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But Dulquer, you don't think that's already happening to a certain extent? I mean, we are waiting.
It's too nascent, but that is a direction that we can still somewhat see. Like, okay, that might not be a bad thing.
No, it's a great thing.
I dub like it's an imposition. I'll finish Malayalam and they'll be like, sir, now Tamil. Okay, then Tamil.
No,
like for,
I meant the situation where we're all waiting for each other's films.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we are, but we are all essentially lovers of cinema. Like we're more like cinephiles. But I'm talking about the audiences, like far and wide. whatever A, B, C, D, whatever it is, across the lands, if more and more films travel without this having to be some tentpole film.
Correct. Or having to have actors from every
and
industry.
make it familiar or something. What if we just tell a great film and it just reaches the far corners of the country?
Yeah. And Ran?
What's a hope? I think hopes are done. I just keep getting up and doing stuff that we like. But yeah, since the conversations about theatres in some manner, I just like to find a newer ecosystem for different types of movies. And the theatres have
very far-fetched
become
idea.
Quite strange now.
I like that he has little, somewhat abstract, but something to really bring a change, like a bigger thought.
Parts of the country, because one, they're so expensive, they're so big, and that's not what the audience is waiting for. Like we keep saying it so often, we don't want big chandeliers, we don't want
and marble and
we want good seats, clean, good sound,
You don't want
clean toilets,
reclining chairs.
Yeah, so I was like, that's not the cinema we're making. That's not what the larger part of India is. And I just feel like if you're able to find that,
I think you'll bring it back to the masses.
Yeah. And it should be convenient.
It should be
for
scary.
everyone
Like,
to go there.
Like this place itself shouldn't intimidate you.
Right.
I think that's happening.
So it should be welcoming to everyone.
I think that's been Telugu's victory for so long, the fact that the ticket price is always low.
Yeah.
So we never lost any audience across the way. So every cinema gets, gets a fair
The
chance.
best thing that happened to the Tamil industry is the cap.
Capping.
So it's the cap, really.
Yeah.
So we just have the audience still with us. Sometimes when you just become too expensive, it cuts off a large part of India, which is not fun. That's where
because then you can choose your entertainment. No, then it's no longer about the film.
Yeah.
Should I watch a film this weekend or go on a vacation?
Go on a vacation. Like
Something.
it can't be that
Weekend.
expensive to go watch a film.
Yeah. No, it cannot. So bring people back to the theatres is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a wonderful hope, and we're all there, and the theatres is where I live, so I love it. I love it. Thank you, everyone, and please go out there and make more movies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
That was a fun session. As I said before, producers always, you get a different, sight and understanding of the industry's working and what they think about it and where it's heading, like all these interesting elements. We started with how much money this year we have made, but it's not because of higher ticket prices and not because more people came into theaters, and that's what you want more people to come to theater and the business to really work. And of course Bollywood is struggling big time in a lot of aspects. How THRI has kind of taken the power, and now you have to theater has to be your first thing. And I think the more and more people understand that, like, you have to make films for people to watch in theaters, that's what will draw them. You have to understand that. It's interesting that she asked about that how people can reach producers with their stories and the what's happening, and I think that's something for people who want to do that. That's a good element to have in this interview. So kudos to Anupama ma'am for doing that. I think that will help a lot of people who want to pitch ideas and how to go about it. We also talked about the big question of how much working hours should be there, and the big controversy that happened. And again, it's such a complex thing. I understand both sides, but at the end of the day, this is the world you are in, right? Like, ideally you would love many things to be, but you don't live in an ideal world. And then of course AI question cannot be left. Now AI is at our doorsteps. It's already entered our lives big time. A lot of people, I've not used that extensively making videos and doing all, but small things, AI feature I'll use in the edit, AI feature using my pictures and thumbnails, and basic life. I want to ask a question, I want to search about something, I use AI. So AI is in our lives in some way or form, right? And it will just gonna keep evolving. So how do you use it? That's the whole point of it, especially in filmmaking. And yes, 2026 looks exciting. Let's see what happens. But we all love movies, we love talking about it. That's what it's all about. I'm looking forward to more roundtables, and if you enjoyed this reaction, let me know in the comments, hit that like button, check out this next, and I will see you next time.